surface world really don't have a clue what they always endure. They fight for me and you. Genetically modified for a 20 and back. They are continually taken for non-linear tasks. They are the super soldiers. Super family, bound by their hearts. Where are they tonight? Gotta make things right. They bring us the light, visible light. Cybernetics, the power in their hands. Psionics, don't try to understand. They are a force of love, they bring a force of light. Super soldiers are real, augmentations off the scale. They will always heal. On a power track for a 20 and back, they will persevere in the service to others, service to humanity, service for love. Always win, always win. Everywhere they've been, always win. Altered genetics, technologically advanced. Their training is endless, courage second to none. Where are they tonight? Out to make things right. Always bring us the light, visible light. They will face the dark force, never leave a chance. No one knows where they've been, but they always win. Always win. Their grasp brings light to the universe. Their reach is everywhere. Superhuman life force, never time to spare. Super soldier, they're out there tonight. Where are you tonight? Fighting for balance, fighting for peace. They know what the stakes are. Dark forces never cease. Something's coming up.
Oh, there you are.
Maybe that would be a little better. Now, it was on the right setting, so for some reason there's like a phantom mic. Anyway, I'm so sorry about that. Okay, let me repeat. Hello, everybody. My name is James Rink. I am the host of Super Soldier Talk, and today we have an angelic healer. His name is Patrick Leddy, and he does these divine energy healing sessions. So his website is Patrick Angelic Healer. Thank you, Patrick, for coming on here today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Great. Thank you. Awesome. So let's start off with a few things. First of all, you are a vendor at the Super Soldier Activation Conference. So if you would like to get a session with Patrick, you should go to supersoldiercon.com. purchase a pass and come check out the vendor room and check out Patrick. I think we got you down. If we don't, we should. We'll get you down as a healing session as well, a group session. Great, thank you. All right, so let's start with the very beginning. Tell us a little bit more about what it is that you do.
Well, I'm definitely a cool dude to come see because I can channel the energy from Source, which is the Holy Spirit. I can channel Christ consciousness, the angels, whoever's going to come through from the higher realms. It's nothing but directly from Source. I don't channel anything else. This is not Reiki what I do. It's very interesting because everybody has a different healing. Everyone is different. There's no two healings are the same. So it's pretty exciting work. Love what I do. It's really nice and rewarding when somebody gets up and goes, "Holy cow, my back pain is completely gone," or something else comes in for them where they're spiritually, lifted up. And it's a lot of fun what I do. James, I think you're muted.
Man, okay.
There you are.
I know. I need to get a little button to press. So Jesus said that through faith we can move mountains, right?
Yes.
We can do miracles and so much more than Jesus Christ. Um, so I was just wondering, how would you interpret that? How can we do miracles greater than Jesus?
I don't know if I'm going to be any greater than Jesus because he works through me. That's the interesting part of what I do. People come in with all different types of ailments and things bothering them. And once I get in there, I even find things that people aren't even aware that they have, or they'll say, "Hey, I didn't even tell you about my knee, but yet your hands went right to my knee and it started working on it." Um, it's pretty cool work. He works through me, and that's how this whole thing. I'm just the channel for him, and I channel all the angels that come through. And I have different frequencies. I did a healing today, and the woman, it was the first time, and it was live in my studio here. And when she went to get up, she sat right back down, and she went, "Woo, I'm a little dizzy." I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Is that normal?" I'm like, "Yes, very normal, because you just got loaded with divine energy. So divine energy is very powerful."
Well, so tell us a little bit more about your self awakening. Have you always had this ability, even as a young child?
No, I discovered my gifts later in life. My ex-wife brought me to uh, a psychic fair on a Saturday here down in South Florida, and I went. It was a gift. She's like, "I'll get you a 15-minute reading," and I didn't really know anything about psychic mediums, so I went in. There was 9 guys on a board that I could choose from, so I picked the guy like right in the center. And she's like, "Really? Why that guy?" I'm like, "I don't know. He's kind of odd looking, but he looks pretty cool. Like to me, I'm going to go for the odd one every time." So what I didn't know was that he was actually a pretty famous psychic medium. His name is Richard Blanchard. And I walked in, and Richard looked at me, and he went, "Well, well, well, what do we have here?" So in my mind, I'm like, "Wow, this isn't starting out very cool." And he made me sit down, and I had no idea anything about psychic mediums. The first thing he told me was to put my hands straight out in front of me, and he put his hands over my hands, and I felt this energy. It was like pins and needles going between our hands, and it kind of freaked me out a little bit. So I was like, "Wow, like what is that?" He goes, "You felt that?" And I said, "Yeah, sure, I felt it." And he said, "Well, that was you." I said, "No way, man, that wasn't me. That was you. Stop messing around." And I thought he was joking, but he wasn't. And he leaned back, and he kind of tilted his head in a weird way, and he was talking to spirit. And all of a sudden he goes, "Oh, they just told me you have no idea." I was like, "I have no idea about what?" He goes, "Well, you're a healer." So this is all news to me. I was like, "So what does the healer do?" I had no idea. He said, "Well, you can heal people just like Jesus did. You can walk up and, you'll be laying hands on people, and you'll really have fun doing it." So that 15-minute reading actually took about an hour and 20 minutes, and his staff was going nuts because he didn't want to let me leave. And he looked at me during this meeting, and he said, "You don't believe me, do you?" And I'm like, "Not a word, not a single word. There's no way." So he said, "Well, I can prove it to you, and I'll prove it to you right now really quickly." And he brought in this young kid. He said, "I've got a young gentleman here. He's about 19 years old, and he wants to say 2 things to you. He's got 2 messages. And the first one was he appreciated you being his friend." So, of course, I was like, "Oh, I don't know who this is." And he said he wants to apologize for taking his own life, and his name begins with a K. And right away, I knew who it was. His name was Kerry. And he was a kid I went to high school with, and he did take his own life. He felt like, nobody liked him. So I was like, okay. So I looked at the guy and I said, lucky guess. And he was like, no, you're still not convinced. I said, no. So my dad's on the other side. He brought him in, and he said something, of course, that I recognized. I'm like, all right, not convinced yet. He says, all right. So then this last one got me, because I had an uncle that was 6'10". He was huge. And he came in, and that's the first thing he said. I got a guy here who's like 6'10". He wants to say something to you. I said, okay, what is it? And he goes, well, psychic mediums run in your family, but it's been hidden from you. I'm like, really? On whose side? And he goes, well, your mom's side. So I was like, oh, okay. He was married to my mom's sister. And that's when I believed, like, maybe this guy's onto something, because that's 3 in a row. There's no way he could have known that. And it was my very first reading in my entire life. So I kind of forgot about it until I left my wife, got divorced, and my energy just popped. My hands were on fire as soon as the day I left. And I'm like, this is so weird. So I contacted a friend of mine who's a medium. She understood, and she introduced me to someone that kind of showed me the ropes on how to start doing healing work. And from there, it just kind of took off.
Wow, thank you, Patrick. Just to let you know, every time you tap the desk, we're hearing it. So maybe you could maybe move the mic up a little bit. But we hear you loud and clear, and we just
Oh, okay.
hear everything else, whatever you have on your desk. But wow.
It might have been my wrist hitting the keyboard.
Oh, okay, okay.
Sorry about that.
Okay. So, do you have any Native American ancestry or Irish ancestry?
I am as Irish as they come. Yeah, my father's side was Irish. His family came from Dublin to New York City. My great grandfather did. So I'm fourth generation, and my mom was Irish and Scottish. So
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So on my mom's side, it was McQuaid family. Anyway. Okay.
now there you go.
Okay. Thank you.
You might have a little healer in you.
Uh, okay. How about this? Could you tell us the defining moment when you realized the presence of divine energies working through you? So now you found out you're a healer, right? But when did you
Yeah.
realize you could do it?
So when the gentleman Tom Amir, was his name, he was teaching me how to do the healing work. He actually it was a Tuesday night circle where we would get together with like 30 other psychic mediums, and it was just a big circle in a room, and we would talk about our gifts. So one night Tom says, hey, does somebody want a healing? And this lady raised her hand, and she got in the middle of the circle, and Tom got up to do the healing. And I was like, all right, this is when I get to see how this healing thing works. And he goes, oh, I need somebody to help me. Hey, Pat, how about you? And I was like, no, not me. And I reluctantly got up, and Tom, I was in the back of the chair. So he said, just put your hands on like near the back of her head. Don't touch it, and just visualize that energy coming through. And he goes, oh, and close your eyes. I said, okay. Next thing I knew, 20 minutes had elapsed. And I remember rocking back and forth. And I opened my eyes. Tom is now nowhere to be found. He's in his seat laughing hysterically. So I looked at him. I was like, what's so funny? And why are you sitting in your chair? You're supposed to be doing this with me. He goes, dude, when you closed your eyes, your energy came on and you pushed me backwards. That's how powerful you are. I was like, no way. And then I'm looking around the room, and all these other psychic mediums are there, and they're all smiling and laughing. I'm like, what's so funny? And they're like, you put on quite a show. And they're like, the whole room is full of angelic angels and stuff, and archangels, and they were all coming in, and you should really pick up on this and do it, because you're a natural. So that was a very interesting, that's how I started. That was my aha moment. And my second biggest aha moment was when I was channeling, I had another psychic medium in the room with me. She was kind of helping me read people and figure out where to lay hands and stuff. And this lady had a Jesus moment. And I kind of felt something very strange coming through me, a very powerful vibration. And when she got up, she looked at me and she started crying. And I was like, what's wrong? She's like, I just had a Christ moment. Like, he came in, you just channeled Jesus right into me. And I saw him, I visualized him, I had conversation with him. I'm like, really? And then the psychic medium was there, like saying, oh yeah, I saw it too. you definitely got some gifts there, kid. And it really kind of took off from there. And I worked at this place for about 7 years, and then I stopped. I kind of got burnt out, and I took a few years off. Um, I do have an interesting story how I came back, if you want to hear it.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so about 4 years ago, I had a friend of mine. He was a shaman. He was working at a place in Sarasota here, locally on the West Coast, Florida. And he ran into someone who knew me, and he says, "Oh, hey, tell Pat like I'm here, I work here, and to come down because they have this live audience that this medium gets up and she reads people in the audience, and he would probably love that. So tell him to come down." So I did eventually. I went down with a friend of mine, and I said, "Well, if this chick is any good, she'll probably pick on me." And it's an hour show, and about 50 minutes in, I wasn't picked on. So I was laughing. I was like looking at my watch going, "Ha, she didn't pick me." And all of a sudden I hear, "This is for the gentleman in the back row wearing the angel medallion," which I had on. And I'm like, uh-oh. And she picked on me. And the first thing she said was like, "Oh my gosh." She's like, "They're showing me how empathic you are." And she's pointing at me and she's like, "The hairs are raising up on my," she's like, "Oh my God, I'm going to cry." And she's looking at me and she's like, "You're crying too." I said, "Yes, I am." And she's like, "Wow, you are such a strong empath." And she's like, "Oh, now they're telling me that you're a healer and like you're like a big deal." She's like, I'm proud to have you in my audience." And then she kept reading on and reading on. And now like I have a live audience that's turning around looking at me like, "Who's this dude in the back row that she's talking to?" It was kind of embarrassing, but I started hanging out at this place for so long that I started to work there. So I worked there for about 2.5 years until she closed that place and moved on. And then I've been on my own ever since, working everywhere I can, traveling the country, doing shows all over the place.
Oh yeah, and that's how we found you. Now we're doing that. My great team of volunteers did some research, and
That's
I
cool.
I wanted to put a great team of people together that can help heal the secret space program veterans, because a lot of these people have been through some severe trauma,
Right on.
fracturization of their consciousness, and they're not in their body, and many of them are on a little on the mentally ill side, and there's no resources for many of them commit suicide and self destruct. So the
No,
goal
we don't want
is,
that.
yeah, let's heal these people, allow them, because the omega programming kicks in once they start getting a certain amount of memories back, and that is to protect the compartmentalization alters from releasing information. So it's easier if the asset would self-destruct and to suddenly go on the internet and start telling all their stories, right? So
Right
but
on.
we want to, I think that's what Jesus would want, right? He would want all of us to get healed,
Absolutely.
super soldiers, and certainly. Okay, so let's go to. I actually have a question here.
Sure.
This okay. Oh, I'm going to share this right here. When I was in my mid 20s, I had like a out of body experience where I would see angels and demons, and one of these angels came to me in my so it looked like this. No, this is not the greatest artwork, but one hand was holding the Trinity, and the other hand was holding a torch of blood. And this guy was glowing. He was about 3 foot tall, hovering over my bed. I was wondering, Patrick, if you could tell me what in the world happened to me. Yeah, and
I
I
have no idea. I've never seen anything like that or even heard of anything like that.
Yeah. Well, it was a very traumatic time in my life. I did a lot of meditating because I didn't know I was involved in these projects, and what I was picking up is that if you find out, you won't want to know the truth. So, but that was the beginning of my spiritual journey way back in the day, and I think that was Archangel Michael. But anyway,
Right.
uh,
One of the other very interesting things that I do, because I have, the backing of the Holy Spirit and Christ consciousness is I do remove entities and any kind of demons or negative stuff from people. I see it as black shadows or black worms, I call them. And if anybody's feeling, that comes to the show, like they may be possessed with something, by all means, stop at my tent. Because this guy here is not afraid. I've done a lot of them. My best story was I removed a negative attachment to someone's throat chakra at a show, and right across from my tent were the Hare Krishna guys who I got to know at these shows, and his eyes were like bugging out of his head. And he came up to me the next day. He's like, "Dude, I had no idea you could do that stuff, and it kind of scared the bejesus out of me." And I'm like, "Well, it's nothing to be afraid of, you know. The light always powers over the darkness, you know." So I know a lot of people that, you know, may have been taken or experimented on. They may have some dark energies in them, and that's where I come in. You know, I'll get it right out of them because they do not like the power of Christ. The light energy is very powerful. So, and I know right away, as soon as I lay hands on somebody, their body will start jerking. They'll twist and jerk, and I'll be, oh, we got a visitor, you know, so we just got to find them and get them out.
Wow, that's amazing. Uh, Aaron is asking, what is the Irish healing connection? Is it the Druids or maybe even Atlantis?
I don't know. I have no idea because my family goes way back into Ireland and Scotland. Like my uncle had told me in that reading that it's been kept secret on my side of the family. Apparently, nobody knew about it. I do know that I have a niece up in New York that I think has also got healer potential inside of her. I could sense it, you know, when I talk to her and when I see her in person. So I've spoken to her about maybe getting her activated when I get up to New York in the spring. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that word activation because that's what we're trying to do. We want to
Right.
activate people's abilities, help them heal themselves, and then they can heal others, right? So,
Exactly. Yeah. That's why I'm here.
okay,
Here to help others and activate them and do anything that I can do to help people. That's my goal.
okay,
Heal as many as I can.
great. So, what do some of your clients feel or experience during one of your angelic healing sessions?
It's interesting. Is everybody is different. So I usually start up at the crown chakra with both my hands. And some people, as soon as I ask them, there's two questions they have to answer because otherwise this doesn't work. And it's, do you want to be healed? The answer is yes. And then, do you give permission for us to come through? Because they're not going to come through without permissions. It's permission based. Once they say yes, and I touch their heads, I will. They'll close their eyes. I'll see rapid eye movement on the client. I already know that they're already hooked up to source and they're feeling it right away. Some people get very emotional. It's a very emotional attachment when, you know, you have Christ consciousness come in. They see floods of golden light. Some people see purple. That would be Archangel Raphael, and some see greens and blues. It's all different angels that come through, but it's a different experience. Everyone experiences something different. Other people, you know, if Christ comes in really hard, he can crank up the energy, or I can ask him to crank it up, and these people will wake up like vibrating. And it's amazing to see the transformation, you know, from like heart injuries to like, hey, I don't have any more pain. Like, how did you do that? Like, what's the trick? I was like, there's just no trick, man. This is, you know, it's the Holy Spirit. I'm very blessed to be able to do what I do, and I love doing what I do. I'm very personable. People get a little nervous when they come in. Um, I noticed, like on your side stream here, somebody's asking, how do you help others who don't believe in God? How do you help them? Well, that is a good question. Non-believers, they're not going to come through. You have to have an open heart. You have to be open to it. You don't necessarily have to be a believer. I'll make you a believer, but you have to be open to it. People can block the energy. I've had it happen. I call it a bounce back. When I get a bounce back, I'll stop what I'm doing and I'll just say, hey, you need to take a couple of deep breaths and let me in. Allow me to come in. I don't want to force the energy in. You have to allow it to happen. And usually, once you say that, they'll calm down and it'll happen naturally. And it's really a wonderful thing to watch.
All right, wow, and like so. Well, if we all have the divine spark in us, then you're just denying yourself if you're like an atheist, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And I've done all types, because I've had to ask Spirit that question, like why some people get it and other people say I didn't feel a thing. That's usually why, because they're non-believers, so they weren't open to it.
Okay. Have you ever removed like etheric implants? Yeah? Do you see the implants when you do it, or you feel it? How's it work for you?
I have not run across that yet. You know, I'm open to it if I do spot something like that, because it's interesting how Spirit works through me. My hands just, they'll guide me where to go. So if somebody came in with an implant for say, they will probably pick up on it right away. And try some way to knock it out or get it to turn off or whatever. I don't know. I've never run across that yet. I would love to. Maybe I will next week, and I'll have a better answer for you. That would be pretty cool to see how that plays out. Because I have done quite a lot of interesting things. I had a doctor from Miami who had an aneurysm. It was 4 centimeters, and I shrunk it down to 2.7. It's medically impossible to do that. I don't know how. That's divine intervention. And I've worked on her since, and I'm waiting. She's getting another test in December, so I'm waiting for her results to come in. I told her, "You're going to be my biggest cheerleader if that thing shrunk." And honestly, I did not feel the aneurysm on the last time I worked on her, so I think it's gone.
Wow, so that's what you just described is a form of telekinesis, and not many
Yes.
people can do that. Um,
No, it's pretty. I got a shout out recently on a podcast by a friend that I just became friends with. I did a really good healing on her. So I've been doing, I do healings over Zoom now. And when I first started doing them, they weren't as strong as in person. So, I can communicate with spirit. And I said, hey, this is great, but I need to be turned up. So they did. They actually cranked me up quite a bit. And now I'm finding the Zoom healings are just as powerful as in person healings. So if anybody is, I mean, I've gone as far as Australia, India, all of Europe. I've done healings everywhere. So if anybody is out of the area that wants a healing, they can just go to my site and book a spot on there. It's all self-explanatory now. I make it easy.
Very good. So we don't necessarily have to be there in person.
No, not at all. I do the Zooms Monday through Wednesday, and I'm booked out like a month already in advance usually.
Wow.
They're
Okay.
very powerful.
Thank you. Robin is asking, have you ever been come to North Carolina? We would love to see you here.
I was just in North Carolina. You just missed me. I was at Raleigh, North Carolina at the Body, Mind, and Spirit show. And I will be back in Raleigh, I believe this December. I'm going to go back and in Raleigh because a friend of mine has a store there. And I will put that information up on my website when we're going to do that if they want to come and see me.
Very
Absolutely.
good.
And again, you can do a Zoom call too, just as good.
Very good. Okay. Um, how can we become more healing to ourselves with angels and our guardian angels?
I always tell people, the best way to really get hooked up with the angels and stuff is to meditate. When you meditate, they listen. They hear you. You call them. You talk to them in your meditations, and they will respond to you. Angels are everywhere. Everyone's assigned angels. Everyone has a guardian angel. So the more you meditate, the more they communicate with you. And then while they're communicating during the day with you, you might see synchronicities like, 11, 11, 10, 10, 12, 12. They're sending you messages. So when you get those messages, I always Google it, like, what is the meaning of 333 at that particular time? And it'll come up. They're actually communicating. They're telling you they're here. They're watching you. They're protecting you. So I always tell people just try to get down a regular routine of meditations and you'll start to change your life.
Very good. I do a lot of meditation. I write meditations. I have meditation technology I use to help people. And I remember talking to somebody that was a little bit more closed minded. They had a certain religious belief system that meditation is bad for you, and that we should just pray instead. What are your thoughts on that? How is when do we meditate and when do we pray? And
That's a great question. Let me tell you something. Jesus meditated all the time. I mean, when Jesus walked the earth and he was with his disciples, James, not James, oh my gosh, it's going to come to me, but the guy who used to scribe his notes, um,
Matthew,
Jesus would
Mark,
excuse
John.
himself regularly just to go meditate, and then he would come back and tell him what he thought. So, yeah, meditation's been around forever. And I mean, if you want to get close to Jesus, let's start meditating. Absolutely.
Very good. Thank you. Okay, so um, how do the angels and guardian angels help us? Do we need to ask them to help us, or they just help us all the time?
Well, they're around to help us. They're here to provide you with guidance and help. But yeah, you can ask them questions, and they may come back to you in your dreams, or they may make things happen. I've got a brother who's crossed over. He's on the other side. He's been for years. And when I got a reading once, my brother communicated to me that he was going to help me get this contract in my other business, and it was going to happen in November. And I swear to you, by right before Thanksgiving, I landed this huge contract. It got me out of debt that I was in at that time. This was some years back, and it was just like, wow, you just made a believer out of me, because my brother told me this was going to happen, and he was working on it from the other side to make it happen. So yes, I truly believe that if you ask, you shall receive. I mean, the angels are there; they're listening all the time. So you just have to learn how to communicate with them.
Thank you. Thank you. Dan, go to neologicaltech.com. I would love to tell you, but I want to hear more from Patrick. So it is a chi energizer, and you can put it on your lap. So studies show you should meditate a minimum of 11 minutes. That's the time it takes to go into the, hold on a second, alpha theta, right? The different brainwave pattern, right between the two, is the
Yes.
ideal meditative state. And once you get there, then you're in a state of it's like, I wouldn't call it bliss. It's more like a timeless zone where you're outside of time, and that's why you can sit there for hours. Of course, I meditate for hours, but it will not feel like hours. But okay, thank you. All right, so let's go on some more questions, and then maybe if you feel called to do so, you can maybe channel a message. So, all right, is there anything? Oh, wait, I got that one. Uh, are these sessions that you do, are they lasting? Do they last long term, or do you
They
have to?
they do. So I always like to use this expression with some people. I'm either a one and done, or you got to keep coming back. Some people, once I do the healing on them, and usually at the shows, I only do them for about 20 minutes. I also do a one touch program, which I signed up late to your event, so I won't be able to do that. But even on the one touches, I'm only touching someone for maybe 30 seconds, a minute, and I've changed lives. I've had people come to me and say, wow, you touched me and my back stopped hurting immediately. So it's very powerful. The energy stays with the client for quite a while. I don't, I may disconnect, but the Holy Spirit's not disconnecting from you at all. They're staying with you. And I tell people you're going to sleep really good that first night. It's just a side effect of having that much energy. You're going to feel it for days. You're going to wake up the next day and feel a little change. You may feel some shifts in everything. Um, that's where I get, if you look at my website, the testimonials that we get are insane. Those are from real people. And that's why we started doing the video testimonials, because I had someone say, oh, well, you could be just making those up. Well, why would I do that? Number one, first, I got to answer to them. So I have to be as honest as I can be. And secondly, why would I want to do that? So we started doing video testimonials. And I was raised a Roman Catholic. I do not go to church. I don't believe in their system. And, Jesus is not about the church and organized religion. That's the wrong message. So I don't go, but I still believe. I believe in Father. I believe in Christ and all the angels and all that stuff. But once people figure it out, their lives are going to change, and meditation is really a big part of it. I can meditate within just 30 seconds. I can put myself under. I've done it for so many years, and it's just very relaxing. That's how I relax. Highly recommend it.
Very good. Thank you. All right. What? How do you see angelic healing contributing? Well, first of all, how about angels in general? How are they helping the general humanity's healing awakening at this time? Are they doing anything, or is it really all us? What do you think?
No, they are doing things. They're bringing awareness to a lot of people. I mean, we're shifting into a fifth dimension, if you want to call it, from a 3D world, and the angels are definitely working overtime right now. There's hundreds of thousands of them here. They're all over the planet. Doesn't matter where you live, where you're going. They're there. They're out there. They're watching you. We've all seen cool videos of you know people being killed and their souls going up, and you usually see somebody grabbing them. So they're there. They're out there, and hopefully, everyone's going to raise up at the same time and move into the fifth dimension, because we're going to shift timelines. And that's one of the reasons why I'm here. I came back this time to be with Mother Earth while it goes through this transition, and I'm excited. There's a lot of stuff happening right now.
Yeah. I have a lot of members of my family who are religious, and they believe that there's going to be a rapture. And yes. So, what are your thoughts on that? I mean, obviously, it's not even in the Bible, but
Yeah, I mean, again, it's a rapture is more of a religious belief, and it's a certain sect that believes that that's going to happen. I personally don't think it's going to happen. We're in a time now where Jesus, chose a few people to do what I do. Actually, there was four of us. Three of those people failed. I did not fail. So they're strictly working with me right now for the time being until I get where I need to be, and then I'm supposed to teach others how to do what I do. But they want me to get people involved. They want, they've told me I'll be doing mass healings one day, which is pretty cool. Um, like I could probably do 100 or 300, 500 at a time. That's going to be awesome. I can't wait for that to happen. But everything happens according to them, because there's no timeline. There's no such thing as time. So they just, it'll come. But I hope the angels are going to be around for a long time, and they're here, and you guys got to believe.
for the last couple of days, I've been waking up and I went to the smell of roses inside my living room. And then last night there was an orb that showed up. So I was just wondering, is that the angels, and what do you think they're doing in my apartment?
That's a good question. What I do tell people is this: if you feel like you're being visited at your apartment by unwanted guests, let's say, I would recommend pulling in Archangel Michael. He is the protector. You can just ask him to take his mighty sword and shield and protect all four corners of your home and protect you, and he will. They do. And you also, if you're in your house and like a negative energy comes in, you can tell them to leave. They will have to leave. You just say, "Hey, this is my sanctuary. You're not allowed. You're not welcomed here, and you need to leave. You need to leave me alone. You need to just move on to the other side." Because sometimes entities or whoever might be drifting by and they see your light, they're just curious. They just want to come by and see what you're all about. I mean, I get it a lot, but I super protect my house. I got a big old Doberman behind me here. You can't see him, but he's just chilling out. He's my protecting spirit. Brought me that dog. He's my spirit animal. Um, and somebody on one of your guests had asked if how animals react around me, and I can tell you, I do healings on animals. I work on horses. I work on cats, dogs. It doesn't matter. I have a business where I go to customers' homes and their pets always come up to me. And sometimes people look and go, "My gosh, my cat doesn't like anybody, but you're sitting there petting it." And it's cool to see the reactions. My best animal story is a dog that I worked on that should have died 2 years ago. Her name is Maggie. She's a little sheepdog. She's got stage 4 cancer. I worked on her for 20 minutes, and the customer called me and said, "Oh my gosh, the dog is up and about running around like she was a puppy again. She was lethargic, and when I got there, she wasn't moving." So Maggie, I've worked on 5 times now. I just saw her about a month ago, and she is still alive. She's got a lot of lumps and bumps coming on, but she's still peppy and walking around. So the energy works on everything. Any kind of living sentient being is going to react to the energy.
Patrick, are you also telepathic?
Um, I've been told yes. I don't know if I can do that or not. I met a gentleman about 8 years ago in the group that I was in, who could do telepathy, and he sat there and said I was saying something to him, but I didn't know. But he said it was in Aramaic, so which is pretty wild because that's like what Jesus used to speak. And I kind of tested that theory. Um, I kept telling him to like take a hike, but not in a nice way in my head. And I kept saying it and kept saying it. And all of a sudden he looked over at me. His name was Dan. And he looked at me and he goes, if you say it one more time, I'm getting up out of my chair. I'm like, wow, okay. I can't hear you, but you heard me. So I'd like to look into that more, though.
Do you think you might have had a past life during in the time of Galilee, in the time
Oh,
of?
absolutely. I walked with Christ back in the day. It makes sense when you think about what I can actually do. Jesus gave the power to 12 apostles to heal in his absence. And they went around all over the Middle East and they healed people and told his story. Wouldn't it make sense if I was a reincarnation of one of them? Because I can do exactly what they're doing, and I've proven it. I don't at this point in my career, I don't have to prove to anyone what I can do. I already know. So yeah, sure, why not?
Well, when I was younger, I would have visions of Jesus on the cross. I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting. So, and then I had a past life reading on it, and here's just I'll just go quickly through this. So then my name was Harriman. I was really close to Jesus. Of course, that they didn't call him that back then, right? But Jesus, he was. I'm sorry, Harriman as adult was younger than Jesus. I wore primitive clothing, dark brown tunic, robes. Oh gosh, they weren't very comfortable. We were happy to have nothing, right? We had olive. I had olive color skin, curly hair, muscular body. It was a farmer, a sheep herder, and lived in a rural, hostile desert region. We'd sleep with the sheep and fine with that. My personality is the same as it is today. I was loyal and dedicated to Jesus, a close friend. He was everything to me. I knew Mary Magdalene, his wife, by the way, and she was very protective of him. I was a scribe. I hold manuscript documents, trying to raise money, constantly traveling, security, detail, watching, and managing the crowds. Was very concerned about what he was doing, right? A bunch of people showing up. They didn't really want him alive, right?
Right.
Anyway, so that's what I go with that. Yeah, we picked up, did it when I did this meditation, my friend, at the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, there were 15 different time travel. I'm sorry, eras of time travelers. The Nazis visited from the 1930s, the U.S.
Wow.
Navy in the 1950s, the U.S. military in the late 60s. Even China had visited the crucifixion. Of course, we know Montauk. They were going back and forth. They were trying to. They wanted to stick a bullet in him, right? And Jesus said, "No, you're not going to be doing that." So anyway, I thought I'd share all that.
Yeah, that's wild. That is crazy.
Did any of that ring a bell to you?
Yeah, I mean, if I could go back, I certainly would. I mean, it was certainly a different time frame. I'd love to remember how I was interacting with him in person. I mean, I know how he is now, how I interact. I actually use I call her a dowser. She's got an ancient art form of using a pendulum, and she can hook up to source directly, and I can have a conversation with them because they want to communicate with me all the time. So Jesus will tell her, "Hey, you need to call Patrick because I have to talk to him about a certain thing." And it is absolutely amazing what a sense of humor he has. His ongoing joke with me is he's always got a sandal in his hand, ready to whack me one because I am a smarty pants. So yeah, I believe it would have been great to know him personally back in those days and see what it was all about. I mean, he was a wonderful human being.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you. All right, well, so maybe I'll save this for the last segment of the show. Are you getting any download messages from any of your connection, your guides? Um,
No, it's interesting. I get asked that a lot, so I'll tell you how I work as a psychic medium. I do have all the seven clairs. Um, my clairvoyance interferes with the energy healing that I do. They clash. So spirit told me stop using the clairvoyance because I used to read people while I did healings, and they said your healing energy will overcompensate and you'll do really great healings. So about a year ago, I was doing a show in St. Pete where I was doing a one-touch healing program where I have people in a live audience come up, and the way I would read them is I would actually hold their hand. I would get an instant flash. It takes a split second from birth to present, and I could tell exactly what was wrong with them. But I got very, very ill. I got really sick. I mean, the flu bug on top of flu bug, and it was just nasty. I was sick for like 2 months. So I said to Spirit, I'm not doing this anymore. You've got to let me use my clairvoyance, at least when I'm doing that program. So they said, sure, we'll allow it. And they did. So it's interesting now is when people line up, I can just kind of peek around and look 4 or 5 people down, and when they come up, I'm hands on. I'm all over them. And they usually say, "Wow, I didn't even tell you what was wrong with me, but you put your hand right on my shoulder where I have an injury." So I'm like, "You don't have to. I've already read you, and I already know." I've tried to do readings while healing, and then spirit will come in and say, "Hey, we already talked about this. You're not allowed to use it while you're doing the healing work." So I can't. Interestingly, when people walk by my tent and I'm not healing someone, I do get some reads on people, but it's not as strong. It's not something I practice anymore because it's been years now, and my focus is on the healing energy. That's what I do. That's my ticket to what I do 100%.
Do you have any funny stories to share about that with your healing work? If you could share.
I've got quite a few interesting healing stories. People that have had things completely. I one client, she was a psychic medium and she had Hashimoto's disease. I completely cured her of Hashimoto's. It was completely gone. Um, Oddly enough, I worked on her sister, not knowing that they were related, and she was a surgeon from Miami who had an issue with her left hip, and she had a diagnosis. She says there's no known cure for it, and she came back 6 months later and told me, "Yeah, you cured that whole problem I have with my left hip." And she stands all day. She's a top surgeon down in Miami. She's the one that had the aneurysm I spoke about earlier, and so yeah, stories like that. I mean, some of the cool stuff that I do is with kids. I love working on kids because kids are wide open, and especially handicapped kids. Kids with mental problems. I'll see them walk by my tent, and we do a lot of kids that have vaccine injuries, and they're mentally
Be careful with
incapacitated,
your
and they're combative. Some of them will try to punch you. And my best story was this one kid. He came to a show in Orlando, Florida, and I told my girlfriend at the time, I said, "Hey, reach out to that mom. That kid's autistic. I can tell, and he's on the border." I said, "Have her come back, and I'll give her a free healing for the child." So when he came in my tent, he actually reached for me. He was in a carrier, and he actually reached for me. And the mother starts crying, and she's like, "This is insane." I go, "Why?" He goes, "He doesn't like anybody touching him at all, and my son is now reaching for you." So I put my hands right on his face, and he just started laughing and giggling, and she walked away and at the end of the show, my girlfriend turns to me, she goes, "Watch out." And I go, "What?" He came running across the venue and grabbed my leg. He wanted to give me a hug goodbye. I was like, oh, it just melts my heart because those are the best healings. When you can alter a child's life. I was in Memphis, Tennessee, where I had a young woman who had her daughter in the tent. The mom was getting the healing. And Spirit told me that the daughter had kind of lost touch with the mom. And the daughter was 20 years old. So at the end, she sat up and I said, "Hey, would you guys be interested in having a little experiment, like a little fun?" She goes, "Yeah, what do you mean?" I was like, "I would love to connect you with your daughter right now. Very simply." I put my hand on their crown chakras and then I connected them. I started crying immediately, bawling my eyes out because I could feel the mom's love and the daughter not really getting it. But then it reciprocated. It went through me into the daughter, back from the daughter into the mom. They both started crying. And then they left, and a year later I went back to Memphis to do another show, and guess who showed up? Those two people, the mom and the daughter came for healing this time. So it's very interesting, how I can affect people's lives, especially mother daughters. I just did it recently in North Carolina when I was up in Raleigh with a mom and her son. She had a healing. Hour later, the son came back, wanted a healing, and she was sitting next to me. And I said, I just called her. I says, "Come closer." I was like, "Hold my hand." I was like, "Put your other hand on his heart chakra, and then I'm going to put my hand on his head." And boom, fireworks. He felt it. He's a changed man. I can guarantee it. He's a changed man. She has reached out to me since and said, "Wow, what a relationship changer." I mean, my son and I are so close now. She was shaking because, the power of Christ went through her, from me to her son, changing lives. This is what I do, and I love what I do. Absolutely love it. I have a passion for what I do.
Well, thank you, Patrick. Just let you know, we're just getting a little bit more feedback on the mic, but okay, great. Well, I was going to ask maybe I don't know if you had the remote viewing abilities like You could locate missing people. Have you ever done that?
No, I've never done that before. That will be something completely new for me.
Okay. Can you heal areas as well as physical people? What do you think of that?
um, yes, I mean, I've never tried to heal an area per se, but I'm sure that I probably could. Physical things in people, absolutely, 100%. So there's two schools of thought here. I cannot heal everyone. I never professed that I can. Neither could Jesus. And there's a reason why. Some people have Akashic records and they're living out those Akashic record requests, and you're not allowed to interfere. They have free will to make a change in that Akashic record, but they have to make that change. So those are the people that I cannot heal. And I have run across a few of them over the last 15 years. It's very upsetting when I can't do anything, but it does happen. It's how this works. You just have to be willing to accept how it works.
All right, thank you. Oh, well, so did you want to do a healing right now for our listeners?
Um, it doesn't matter to me. I could do one on you. I can see you.
Okay. Well, I think a lot of our listeners have gone through like severe MK Ultra trauma, and a lot of them are just not in their physical body. Their soul is just kind of hovering around, and many of them have been implanted with some extremely advanced AI technology that may be driving a certain subconscious levels of these. So that's why they seem very triggered. If you ever meet people in our field, some of them are can be they can yeah. So maybe there's something that you could do for that, or I could just be quiet and just let you do your work. Thank you.
Yeah, it depends. You want me to do a healing on you? I could do one right here, right now.
Oh, I mean, I want you to heal. Okay, how about we do one on me, and then we can do one for the audience. How about that? Because
Yeah, I actually
I feel guilty if we leave
physically,
the audience behind. They need healing too.
I physically have to see the person though. That's how
That
I
works.
work. I can't just like send it out in the universe.
I,
Um,
I
when I
accept.
do the Zoom calls, I actually can see the person. I have to make sure that the camera, like some of them will lay down, and I'll be like, "Well, you got to tilt your camera down so I can keep an eye on you because I have to visibly see. Because if anything pops up, I need to know about it."
Okay. Do you need me
So
to close my
it's
eyes or anything?
risky work.
You want me to close
Um,
my eyes?
you can close your eyes. I just need to know where you're located.
I live in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay, Charlotte, it is. You ready?
I am
All right, James. Here we go. And so I've got the Holy Spirit here. They're asking me to ask you if you want to be healed today, James.
affirmative.
All right, and they're asking for permission to come through.
Affirmative.
All right, here they come, brother. Hold on. Sorry, man. That's my dog in the background.
He's like, I want to play too.
Oh, how'd you feel?
Oh, I feel good. I feel a lot lighter. So I feel the pressure in my forehead, and then
Yes.
what I was getting is that like my whole endocrine system is just messed up from all the missions they put me on. I didn't even, when you get up every day, you think it's normal, but it's not. It's not when you've been exposed to radiation and so on. But I really feel like a lot of that got released, and there was a lot of trauma within the chakra systems. They definitely it felt like they weren't even spinning right, and that was done intentionally, right? The stick stuff in those chakras.
We'll have to fix that up when I see you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
That was pretty wild.
I felt energy going down the spine. So like
Yeah,
there's a lot of stuff going on with
I was
me.
going right through your crown chakra. So,
Oh yeah, thank you. Wow.
you're welcome.
Well, so I think we're 12 days away or 11 days away. So,
Yeah,
um,
I'm
again,
excited.
yeah, uh, I want to. So, if you would like to meet Patrick in person at this year's Super Soldier Activation Conference, go to supersoldiercon.com. We have a day pass that's very affordable. We also have a VIP ticket that includes all your meals, and you'll be able to. Um, you can sit with the speakers, and we have a couples pass too that includes your hotel room. And there's not many conferences that do that, so that's good for at least till the first for a couple more days, and then that program closes. So, and again, Patrick will have a booth in the vendor room. You can meet him and get a healing session, and yeah. Let's see. Let's check the audience members. Black Feather says, wow, I love the show. Thank you so much. And Black Feather says he woke up with a scoop mark on Sunday and never experienced that. So a lot of experiencers are being picked up for cloning projects. I mean, that's just one of the reasons, not the only reason, but yeah. So, okay. What's his website or YouTube channel?
It's patrickangelichealer.com.
Very good. You can
Just
get
type
it.
that in, it'll pop the site up. It's the only one in the world.
Thank you. Thank you. Have you had any success with depression?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. All sorts of mental issues, mental health, everything. You name it, I can work on it.
Oh, and that's violence turned inward. So you're angry, but you turned it in yourself instead of the people that screwed you. Usually that's what happens, but that's the 3D life we live. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, our newly super soldiers regaining memory. Is this soft disclosure taking place? Intentionally, memory being released. Okay, there's a lot of questions here. I would say um, very few people are actually getting their memories back, but when the med beds come out, that will change, or maybe Patrick can help us with that.
Absolutely.
All right,
I'm interested to meet the people that are going to attend your show because it's a completely different audience for me, and I am up for the challenge.
very good. Okay, Elena says, "Thank you for sharing this wonderful stories. I'll be happy to have a healing session. Thank you all."
Perfect. Look forward to meeting you, Alina.
All right. Okay. Well, any other final last messages you would like to share?
Well, I mean, I'm excited to do your show. I thank you for the invite. I'm looking forward to meeting all the people that are going to be there. I'm going to be excited to be there, and I hope everybody comes in and I can squeeze everybody in. I get very busy. Spirit always brings people to my tent. I never worry about if I'm going to be working or not. People are just drawn into the energy because once I get there, I turn on and that's it. I draw them in. So I'm looking forward to it, and hope everybody can make it and have a great time. And it's a lovely venue too. I've done some other events at that hotel. It's a great place.
Oh yeah, we did our research on that, and it's beautiful interior and a great price for all of our patrons.
Yes.
And you should come on out and join us. So. Okay, well, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up, and I appreciate all the listeners. Thank you for joining us on the live stream. We had a great turnout today. Uh, Everybody go to supersoldiercon.com. Go ahead and purchase your day pass, your VIP tickets, and we'll see you all in Orlando this October 8th to the 12th. Thank you all. And thank you,
All right.
Patrick, as well. Appreciate you
Yes,
coming.
sir. Thank you, James, for having me. I enjoyed it.
All right. And stay tuned for this final message. We'll see you all later. Goodbye, everyone.
Take care.
They were taken, used, and silenced, but their voices rise again. Join us this October 8 through 12 in Orlando, Florida for the Super Soldier Activation Conference. Learn the truth behind UFOs and aliens and receive healing and solidarity for survivors of milabs and the secret space program. By joining us, you become part of the Stand for Justice. Register now at supersoldiercon.com.
I served on the space station of Mimas as a liaison for the Earth Embassy, working with many alien races.